What's up, friends? In the last episode, were able to upload thumbnails directly to YouTube using the SVG to PNGs that we've converted. In this episode, what I wanted to go over was extracting out this concept of a subtitle. So right now, our videos have a title, they have a subtitle, but for now, like every single time we want to change the subtitle, we have to go in and edit the subtitle. And I think what we want to do instead of a subtitle is actually to have like a series or a category or some other like group that these all fall into, because metaprogramming, like Ruby metaprogramming, is actually like the kind of the group of videos that I made, one with send, one with const get, and then one with define method, right? And so in addition to changing what the subheading is on the thumbnail, I think I'd also like to maybe change things like the actual SVG that we're using for the thumbnail, maybe change, I don't know, the color of the fonts or something, or the actual fonts that are chosen. So what I want to do is remove this concept of a subtitle and add a new concept called category. So let's do that. Let's do the migration, remove subtitle from videos. So we'll do this migration that drops the column on videos for subtitle. So remove column, videos, subtitle, rake db migrate. And in a future episode, I'll show how to deploy this. We'll probably deploy it to Heroku, maybe DigitalOcean, not sure yet. So then we'll say like Rails G model category. And then like a category could have several videos in it, but I think what a category might also have is the name of the category. So that's going to be like Ruby metaprogramming. And then perhaps we have like two different colors. So we'll have like a primary color and a secondary color that'll help us design the category. And then what else are we going to have with a category? Like a category might have the SVG image also, but we can come back and add that later. So it's going to have a name, primary, secondary. Let's do like primary font, or maybe we should call these like, Rails G model category. It's going to have a name, and then we're going to have, let's call it the title color and the subtitle color. And then we'll have the title font and the subtitle font. And I think we can figure out like, do we want to store, yeah, I don't know, this might be interesting. We could potentially use the Google Fonts. Is there a Google Fonts API? Let's see, Google Font API. That would be kind of interesting to use the Google Fonts API to pull in different colors. Simple to use, free to use, developer API. Okay, yeah, so we might even be able to use this with the same stuff that we're using for YouTube, for the YouTube API. Just like hit the developer API for the fonts and then show those. So, okay, so let's keep those for now. But initially, we'll just work on getting the name, title, color, and subtitle color working to override instead of having just like a hard-coded subtitle on every single video. Okay, and that I think looks good. They're all string values. Cool. Next, what's going on here? Okay, so that worked. That created the thing. Okay, so then let's also Rails G migration add category ID to videos. Category references, because we want each video to now belong to a category. Create, what is it called again? Categories. Create category. Okay, create categories. It's got to have a name, and its title color is going to be default to something. And this will also default to something. So let's go use the colors that we're using already here. I stopped the server. Nope. Rails S. No, Rails S. Okay. What are the colors that we're using? Oh, let's see. Rake db migrate. Oh, we don't want it to run the migration. We want it to, yeah, okay. So because we're adding a new foreign key column to the database that does not already exist, we will need to either go update our migration to create category IDs for every single object that's in there. But because this is just test data, it's way easier to just say rake db drop db create db migrate and db seed, but I don't actually remember what's in the seeds file right now. So let's just remigrate the entire database. So this is failing. Oh, it's failing because our create categories thing doesn't null false. We never got all the way to the right answer here. Okay, so let's open up our thumb base, and what were the colors that we used here? So the subtitle was this. The subtitle was this, and then the title was this. Okay, and then so title font, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Actually, I'm just going to delete those because we're going to need like the size and the weight and the family. So let's just leave it off for now, and we'll just use Roboto and just change the colors around. So let's see, rake db migrate. Okay, it's failing because categories does not exist. Add category ID to videos. Yeah, because this one should run after we run create categories. Is it not creating categories? Okay, rake db drop. I swear that's what we just created though. Cateorgies. Rake drop. There we go. Okay, finally. That misspelling categories kind of messed me up there. Okay, so now we should be able to say Rails S. Great. Refresh. Oh, there are no videos left. So let's go to our seed file, seed.rb, and this won't actually work because we're not setting a category. So in our seed file, let's also create a category, and we'll say category.create, and the name is just going to be default. And that should be fine. Rake db drop db create db migrate db seed. This should run them all like sort of in order. And oh no. Okay, so shoot, as part of my misspelling, it also named the model differently. Category.rb. Category.rb. Okay. Now, if we run rake YouTube fetch videos, this should hit the YouTube API. Ooh, right. Okay, so now we need to connect to YouTube. Oops. S. Perhaps I should store the result of the YouTube session in the seed file, so I could like always just be logged in, but the auth tokens expire after 24 hours anyway, so it's not a huge deal. Okay, null value in category ID. Okay, so now we go to YouTube and then, or youtube.rake, and in here we can say category category.first, and oh my gosh. Okay, so on the video object, we now have to say like belongs to category. Oh, it seems like we did something. Nice. All right, so we've got our videos back, and cool. All right, cool. So now what we want to do is create the concept of categories. So Rails G controller categories, and we're going to have an index, we're going to have a new, probably have edit, and that's it. Let's see. Okay, in the index view for categories, let's see, at categories equals category.all. New is going to be at category is category.new. Edit is going to be at category equals category.find params ID. We'll have an update, we'll have a create, and at category is category.new param category params. If at category.save, redirect to categories path, else flash.now errors is equal to at category.errors.full messages. And then we'll just render new again. And we basically want the same stuff for update. It's going to be only different in that we're going to say .update instead of .save. So at category is category.find params ID, category.update, category params. And now we need to define what category params looks like. So we'll say category params is params.require category.permit the name, title, title color, and subtitle color, and let's just leave it at that for now. Okay, so let's go create the views. So in our index view, category index is going to be, here's our categories, and we're going to say UL, and inside the UL we're going to have at categories.each do category, and it's just going to be the name and a link to edit. Let's see. So it's going to be link to the category.name and then edit category path. And then we'll just have like a tag up here that's like slash category, or like I don't know, what do we want to do? Link to? Add category. And that'll be the new category path. All right, let's see what this looks like. So if we go to slash categories, nothing happens because it's not in the routes yet. All right, so resources, categories. Okay, refresh the page. Edit category. Oh man, I misspelled this again. Edit category path category. Okay, cool. So we've got our default one. That brings us to the edit for that. If we click add, we go to the new page. All right, so let's go add a form.html.erb partial. And in here, yeah, we want just like a form that's going to go to, let's see, can we just grab these things? and then say the action is going to be, if the category is persisted, then it'll go to the category path for the category. Otherwise, we're going to the categories path for the post request. So we'll say add category on the button, and yeah, the label is going to be for the name. And in the name here, we need to say category with the square bracket thing. And then in the new, we want to render the form. And in edit, we want to render the form. And here we'll say edit category name. And then here we'll say like add category. All right, so add category, here's our name, testing, click add category. All right, we got a testing category. Oh, okay, so it didn't keep it populated. That's awful. So we want to set the value equal to at category.name. Okay, cool, testing, 1, 2, 3. All right, let's make the button just like submit, because then it'll work for both. And we also need to include this hidden input with underscore method as the name and put as the value if the category is not or is persisted. So for editing, it needs to send a put request, right? Testing 1, 2, 3, submit. Now update I keep misspelling things. We're moving too fast. Videos controller. So in our update action here, oh no, not the video, category. Categories controller, update, this should be params ID, refresh. Look at that. So we've got default, we've got testing 1, 2, 3, add a category. This is another category. Category, okay, submit. Cool, we got several now. And we can edit them. Let's say like this is Ruby meta programming, submit. Cool. Now what we want to do is update our video form so that we can select the category instead of the subtitle here. So here we're going to say this is category. And we're going to be picking, actually, we need a select box. So say select, and the name for this is going to be, what is the name? It's going to be video category ID. And the options are going to be the categories. So it's going to be like, yeah, option value is category.id. Category.name. I'm so tempted to just use C instead of category. At categories.each do category. We'll need to go add this to our controller so that it actually exposes at categories as an instance variable. So videos controller, this is going to be in the edit action. And we have a few of these already. Okay, so now if we go back to one of our videos, like const get is a metaprogramming in Ruby video. So we say edit, and then for the category, we can select metaprogramming, and then we can say update, but right now the update action is going to update the video with the video's params, but it doesn't include the category ID anymore. So let's update that, and then we can click this, say update video. And now if we If we go to thumb, it's still using subtitle in the thumb base for the SVG. We're using subtitle somewhere here. Yeah, so this, now we want this to be like category dot name or something instead. Okay, awesome. So Ruby metaprogramming, this is coming from the category now. So if we go back over here and we go to like /categories and we change the name of Ruby metaprogramming to like Ruby meta and submit, if we go home and then we go to const get and go to thumb, then we have Ruby meta. Awesome. So this is pulling from the category. That's so cool. So let's also update our base here so that we're filling the text with the color from the category. Category dot subtitle color, I think it is. Let's see. We're going to use the annotate gem to add the new columns that we created as comments to our category. So now if we open our category, we see title color and subtitle color. So if we go to our thumb base.svg, here category.subtitle color should work. And then here for title, we'll say category.title color. And when these SVGs are rendered, it should select out the color. So now if we go into, actually, let's just add those as, yeah, let's add those into our categories controller. Or into our form for categories. Let's add inputs for the colors. So let's say just title color. And for now, I think there might actually be elements for selecting colors, like color picker elements, but we can add that in a second. Oh, also I'm noticing that, yeah, these actually do need names. So name is title color. You want the name in your input to match the label so that when someone is looking at the UI, they can just click on the name and that'll add focus to the input. So if you don't have this, then it won't do that. So if we have name here, subtitle, color, and then if I refresh the page, let's see, subtitle, color. It's not working for those. Is the name, oh, this needs to be ID, sorry, ID, not name, ID. The name is what's going to be passed as like the name in the object that's passed to the server. The ID is what's used to target the focus. See how the focus is changing there? So let's see, color input element HTML. Oh, input type color, cool. Let's see if it works as we expect. All right, refresh. Holy moly, look at that. That is super cool. Holy smokes. Okay, so let's say the subtitle color is some like nasty green and the title color is yellow. Maybe it's gonna be like a JavaScript thing. Submit, and then if we go back to our video for const get and we go to the thumbnail, is it gonna be a different color? Oh my gosh, look at that. It's so cool, holy smokes. I love it, I love it. So epic. You can just like change the color based on the category and you can change the name based on the category and all the stuff changes. So cool. I definitely think we could change the fonts and we can use the Google Font API and we could, yeah, maybe we could even add like tools for backdrops and some other stuff. But for now, this is pretty cool and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'm gonna call that a good one. Thanks for watching. And yeah, just as a recap, what we did is we went through, we added a new concept of a category. And the categories are sort of like you could think of a category as like a series of videos or as like a specific topic that you're talking about a lot, or as like a, yeah, like maybe the way that you're grouping up a course. So a category could relate to a course. So maybe you have like a course about beginner Rails, and you have a course about beginner Laravel, and you have a course about PHP or something. Like you could have different categories for each of those with different colors so that people could identify the thumbnail really quickly. I think there's a couple other things we might be able to do with this, like in terms of the template that's used for the description, we could somehow maybe associate a category with a default template or something. But for now, I'm happy with this. And yeah, in the next episode, perhaps we can mess around with the Google Font API and or deploy this out to some live production server. So until then, thanks, friends.